Tonight, Paramount did an oopsie. Or maybe it didn't. I don't know. EA is taking up a hobby of killing something other than companies. Daddy Sakurai. I am quite concerned. Matpat has joined the exposed train, which I think is a really good thing. Nintendo is doing VR in cardboard, which is still $70.
Ooh, the casual.
So yes, there was a leak about the upcoming Sonic movie coming out, and it has what Sonic finally looks like, so just be wary of what I'm about to show you. This isn't official, but it looks like it's the likely design. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've covered this before, but yes, upcoming Sonic movie should be coming out in November, I believe. But let's take a look. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you all. I don't think it's the worst design, though I think you would have to like literally roll up your sleeves and try really hard to mess up Sonic's design. He just looks like a woodland creature to me. He really does. Now, there is a particular artist that did a fan edit of this, and I will admit that this looks a lot better than the original. Just the fact that they've taken away the cutesy woodland creature look that the original leak has in it. He just looks cooler. He looks closer to his original design, his original idea. The thing about this, are we paying too much attention to how he looks? It's kind of like a video game. Do you pay so much attention to the graphics or more so the gameplay? And with the movie, do you pay more attention to the story rather than just how the character looks? Now, we are visual creatures. I'm not going to take that from us at all. I'm not going to be like, oh, social justice, ooh. Like, no, none of that. But it just makes me think about that. It's like, are we focusing too hard on how he looks? Because if the story is good, then the story is good. Now, of course, I highly doubt that the story is going to be good just because of the track record, but you never know. But do you focus so much on it? I don't know. Overall, though, you can make changes to the character's original design and still keep the original idea intact. Look at the Pikachu movie. It still has the overall idea, the look and the feel of the Pokemon, though some of them do look weird.
Not the mama.
But you know what's funny? Even Sonic's dead eyes still don't look as bad as the dead fish eyes in Big Mouth. Look at poor Sonic. The thing about running faster than the speed of light is you always spend your time in darkness. I'm going to give it the benefit of a doubt. There we go. Got it out. I'm guessing with it being a video game movie, mainstream genuinely doesn't give a turd shart about the end result. I'm pretty sure what's going to happen, just like all the others, whether it be Blood Rain or Max Payne, or I don't know. I think Max Payne probably was better. Mario. Dear God, we've got a Mario movie coming up, and it's made with Illumination in it. Oh, my soul. I think I'm gonna be sick. Oh. Anyways, just the B actors, the half-ass script. I mean, man, even fans have proven that they can make a better movie or a better game if you give it over to them because they actually care about the end result. What's that? I hear Yuji Naka, creator of Sonic, has a few words for what he thinks about the leak of his character. Yuji Naka? Excellent stuff. Excellent. Thank you for your comment. But who knows? Maybe it won't suck. Only time will tell. Moving on. EA has a new hobby. Gotta love that. So yes, if you probably hadn't heard it from anybody else that has gotten the game and has quickly put it down not too long afterwards, Anthem seems to be bopping PlayStation 4 consoles. Now, EA seems to be fairly aware of the situation. I think they've known about it for some time now, if not an entire day at this point. I'm not entirely sure when they officially knew about it. But yes, it's definitely it's definitely a thing. Now, I know this is low-hanging fruit. EA is such a easy punching bag to go after, and it's fun to do it. I'm not even going to lie. It's so much fun. I mean, something fun has to be related to EA in some fashion, at least, because it sure ain't going to be the games. You can't help but feel the whole looter shooter thing mixed with a BioWare style game. And oh, BioWare, I know who's done this to you. We know who's done this to you. You used to be amazing, but evil has a hold on you. So, but in all fairness, they have identified the issue and they said that they're working on it, which I know it's a generic company statement. Every company makes that statement every time they do an oopsie or whatever. It just comes with the territory of coding, really. Like, to be fair, and I can't stress it enough, it's very fun to make fun of EA. Make no mistake about that. And a lot of the times the execs totally deserve it. Like, the execs are greedy bastards. I mean, that's just what it is. They're greedy. It's a reason that you were voted like the most hated company. Like, just sorry. Besides Comcast, like the likes of Comcast and AT&T. I mean, that's just, what can I say, man? These people didn't have a meeting and said, you know what? We're going to decide that we hate you. Nope. You've done some things to make people not like you, and understandably. But the truth of the matter is, I have to be completely fair with this, because say, for instance, when Piranha Plant was released for Smash Brothers as a free DLC, it ended up destroying some people's games. It didn't destroy the console, or it didn't turn off the console, fortunately, but it erased people's games. And, it's just a side effect of programming and coding. Like, you have no idea what's going to happen. Or Skyrim, for example. Skyrim, my favorite, a ton of people's favorite. It's loved globally. But when it came out, it was hot garbage, because, that's how Bethesda rolls. If you haven't seen recently with Fallout 76, that's just it's a feature. So I can't really throw stones at EA and, give Nintendo or any other company like a leg up on seemingly the same issue. It's a coding issue. And I can't talk trash about it. I mean, I have a mind-numbingly basic knowledge of coding. Hello world, anyone? Any small bit can mess it up and cause it to be a nightmare. And it's draining on a whole nother level to try to go and find what the error is. So I can't go after them like that. I have to be fair. But for real, someone rescue BioWare. Moving on to the next thing. Yes, poor Daddy Sakurai. If you follow Smash Brothers and its creation, or if you followed it any at all throughout the years, you know Sakurai. You know Masahiro Sakurai. And you probably know that this man has a notoriously, I want to say seemingly toxic work ethic, but it's toxic in the way that you wouldn't normally suspect somebody to say it. But yes, this guy's had numerous health problems throughout years. He works so hard that he is making himself sick, and definitely not good. I mean, there's so much passion and so much love put into what he does. It's a real shame. But when he was interviewed, it's been mentioned that he's had so many, I think he had some gastrectomy issues. I know he had tendonitis. I know at some point when he was just testing over and over and over, just mashing buttons, he eventually, his arms gave out from working, from sun up to sundown, long past sundown. God, he had something that was ruptured, but I can't remember exactly what it was. He's gotten food poisoning, which I know from experience, it is a nightmare. When you get food poisoning, it feels like you're going to gaming. It's awful. You really feel like this is it. Well, I had a good run, but yeah, he really needs to take care of himself. He said it's gotten to a point to where he's had to hook up to an IV, the old IV drip thing in the hospital, where he's had to actually hack up an IV and take it to work with him, and he just continues to work away. He says he would rather do it himself than trying to he's got Bandai Namco and other developers to help him along the way, but he's more of that, here, like, let me do it, which I respect. But come on, man, like, I think he needs an intervention. When the DLC is done for Smash Ultimate, take a break, dude. Like, seriously, let me work on Season Pass 2. I want my Season Pass 2, goddamn it. I want my Season Pass 2. Yeah, like, he only took 3 days off, 3 whole days off, and this was after Smash was released. I understand that unhealthy obsession with quality and winning. Like, it's actually something that usually makes the greats throughout history. I will say that much. Like, think about it, like Michael Jordan and like entertainers, and like they'll keep grind. Like, you don't really see it, you don't really think about it, but a lot of them, aside from a few lucky ones, like, you do have to have some level of luck. You have to have an insane work ethic to get where you want to be. I'm talking some of these people, like, they wake up before everyone else does, like 3 a.m, 5 a.m, and then they're like the last one to go to bed. These are the types of people that have this winning kind of mentality. They're the first ones in office, and then they're the last ones to leave. And that's something that I think that Sakurai would do. Like, he's even mentioned himself before. He's not a businessman. He's an artist. He takes his craft genuinely seriously from top to bottom. Like, there's so much detail, so much quality that's put into his games. Like, it's indisputable. You can criticize it. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be perfect, because who has made anything that is perfect? Nobody has. Like, it's nigh impossible. The only thing that makes perfection possible is the fact that, in my opinion, anything is possible. But, that's a discussion for another day. But you really have to ask yourself, is your health worth hurting yourself to such a degree? I can't stress it enough. Work ethic is highly important. I mean, it can give life meaning. You have a goal or some goals you chase after day in and day out. And I don't think Sakurai is running himself into the dirt for a check, though. I mean, I bet the checks are nice, consider how much Smash Brothers sells. But I don't think it's about the money for him. I think it's about the quality. It's about making as many people as he can make happy at once. Like, I genuinely feel that from this man. He's very passionate. So, Sakurai, when you get done with this, man, you've got to take a break. For the love of, you are going to come down with a bad case of deadness if you don't chill. I mean, I'm pretty sure, as a Japanese man, you should be familiar with the term for, like, working yourself to death. It's an actual thing. It's an issue. So slow your roll, man. We love you, dude. Like, you I'm pretty sure you hear that all the time. We love you. You still won't give me the characters that I want, but you still make wonderful stuff. So please, dude, please. Matpat is at it again. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Matpat is the creator of game theory and film theory. And he's taken it upon himself to take a couple of people to task. And I gotta say, I am thoroughly enjoying it. So if you missed what was it, a $1.7 million lie? And they stole it. So he started off this whole thing by talking about Defy Media, scumbags, and Ally Bank, another scumbag. And he's done a very good job of doing a breakdown on how that money belongs to. It is sad that he even has to even do that, because obviously creators produced the work that generated this money. Therefore, money should go to the creators. Pretty much no brainer. But scumbags will be scumbags. So instead of trying to give it to the rightful owners, you got to try to keep it yourself. But we're not talking about that in particular. That's just something else to preface what I'm going to talk about next. But talking about how YouTube has a preference on who gets the better treatment, who gets their own Google account representative. Gamers, to make it short, gaming channels are second-class citizens when it comes to account representatives in Google, which I guess isn't really a surprise. But I love how he talked about all the good things a lot of fantastic things have come out of the gaming community. I have found fantastic, phenomenal, wonderful YouTubers that they're genuine people. Like, they're truly genuine. Like Gerard the Completionist. Like, there's Nathaniel Bradley. Like, there's so many good people in that community. I mean, say, as much as I'd like to harp on Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie out of painful jealousy. Oh my God, it hurts my soul. I wish somebody would versus me so I could get some free subscribers. It hurts. But they do a lot of fantastic things. PewDiePie raising, in the whole T-Series thing and raising like thousands and thousands of dollars. Markiplier, same thing. PewDiePie going to play with terminally ill kids. It's just there's so many amazing things, and these are just big YouTubers. These don't account for all the other YouTubers we have no idea doing real good out there. They're just so small that you just don't see them. So it's no surprise that YouTube is doing this, because I mean, no way. YouTube has never done anything that isn't very disappointing. Not at once ever. So yeah, it is what it is. But shout out to Matpat for exposing that. Good on you, dude. Keep exposing stuff. Like PewDiePie said we need more scruffy men with beards exposing and calling out BS. But your smooth baby skin face, I'm good with you calling out stuff too. It's good stuff. Got a double whammy for Nintendo. So two things. Shout out to Nintendo for the recent statement on microtransactions. This is the first company that I have seen from this industry. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure there's some indie developers. I'm pretty sure that it's like, nah, we're not going to do the consumer like that. So shout out to you guys, especially the Downwell team. I know how you people are. You're good people. Axiom Verge team, same thing. I know how you guys are. You good people. Way Forward, throw them in there too. It's a bunch of others. But Nintendo actually went to their mobile developers and said, we do not want as many microtransactions or any at all in our games. We want them to be focused on a genuine good experience rather than trying to nickel and dime. And oh my God, that is perfect. It's just something that you just don't expect to hear from a corporation. But considering the fact what we've seen from Reggie, from Iwata, from Shigeru Miyamoto, from Bill Trinen, from all of them, all of the big wigs at Nintendo, even Kimishima. I like to joke about him looking like a Yakuza mob boss, but they all seem like fantastic people from top to bottom. I mean, if Iwata didn't really show you, just the corporate, the loving corporate structure that Nintendo has, I don't know what else to tell you. Matter of fact, there was a recent study that came out and it talked about how happy Nintendo employees are. To be honest, it would be a fantastic job. It'd be a dream to be able to work at Nintendo, just to be completely honest. And that's not something that other game developers can say. I mean, I literally talked about a developer earlier on in this video who you would never dream, unless they were being blackmailed or something, you would never dream of an EA employee saying, I love this company. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not even on opposite day. Not even in Australia where toilets spin in reverse. Absolutely not. So shout out to Nintendo for such a fantastic news story. The fact that you want to make a full game, a complete game, and Iwata's talked about this before when he was asked about microtransactions. You don't want to focus on microtransactions and nickel and diming. It's short term. It may be short term and nice now, but there is a ceiling. There is a ceiling on offering games as a service rather than a product. I mean, there's a ceiling for everything when you really think about it, but specifically for this, gamers and people with disposable income only have so much money. There's so many other things that are draining our pockets day in and day out. We don't have that kind of money to be not paying for a complete game. Like, you give us 20% of a full game and then you sell us the other 80%. We don't have money like that. It should be a given, but you've made so much, most overpaid CEO. gaming CEO, excuse me. Like, you've made so much, like, you don't realize that. Like, it's a bubble and it's going to pop. And the sad part is the executives won't learn a thing. They'll be okay. The company may suffer, but they'll be okay. The employees are going to suffer, but they'll be okay. And that it just drains my soul. So with crap like that going on, you have to take your wins where you can get them. So again, shout out to Nintendo, because I am going to talk about you a little bit following this. Nintendo is doing VR now. So yes, can't believe it. They decided. Nintendo was like, hey, Google Cardboard, anyone? We're bringing that back. So yes, interesting enough. It's interesting that instead of, because it would fit fine in a direct if Nintendo decided, hey, we're gonna announce, Nintendo VR in a direct, but they just did it in a simple tweet, which that's interesting. So yes, they drop it out of nowhere. VR pack, I think number 04 or whatever, $70 cardboard, I guess. Sign me up, I guess. But look, I mean, I'm a sucker for VR, so it's very nice to see that Nintendo is at least dipping a toe in it. I even have some ideas for products I want to produce for VR, but this will cost a lot more money than I could ever start with, so maybe down the line. But I love VR. I just love I love the thought of immersion. I love the thought of virtual reality. Not to say that life just sucks so much I just want to escape from it. It's just the concept of it's really cool. I have the ideas of like all the possibilities that you could do for it. Reasonably speaking, not just out there. But I think there's some fantastic things that you can really do with VR. And I mean, it's not a huge surprise because VR, because of the VR code that was found on the Switch, I'm not too oh my God, I can't believe it, but more so is that's cool. So you finally decided to do it. I have no idea if they just saw that other people's wow, VR would be a good idea or what. I mean, when you think about it, it's not really hard to do. The main thing in VR is just making two different images. You have your field of vision or field of view or whatever, FOV, and just make sure that no light really gets in, and you can do VR crap very basically when you think about it. It's not going to be perfect VR, you're not going to be able to get through that screen door effect unless you get some high quality materials, but it'll get there over time. Cost of technology gets cheaper, all the other good stuff. It'll get there over time. But as of now, it's easy to do VR. It's just not going to be perfect VR, but it's really cool that Nintendo decided, I'm going to dip a toe. I feel like they could implement this much better, even using just cardboard, because it looks like you have to hold it up with your hand. Not really a fan of that, but like I said, it's something cool. Nintendo LABO in and of itself, I'm surprised that they stuck with it, considering the fact that it hasn't done well before, and Furukawa has even commented on it before. But it's nice to see that they're sticking with it. LABO, to me, I would collect them over time. But if you have kiddies, family, or whatever, I think LABO was more about the journey more so than the destination, because once you put them together, I'm pretty sure they just collect dust. Play with them a little bit every now and then, but you're not really going to pay too much attention to them. But I think most value that you're going to get out of them, in my opinion, is when you're spending time with your kids and making something with them. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see. And lastly, Capcom being Capcom. So if you haven't already heard it, that's exactly what they're doing. Capcom has they have a thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of stick is up their butt, but they genuinely enjoy charging Nintendo Switch customers, or just Nintendo fans in general, just more than other companies. And it's irking me. So recently, just like what's been done before, Street Fighter, Capcom is charging for Resident Evil 0, 1, and 4. They're charging $30 for them separately, and on other platforms it's like $20 a piece. I mean, the Resident Evil Origins bundle I think is like $60 a piece on the Switch, versus the other consoles, which I think is like 40 or whatever. It's less again, and not all the games are even on the Switch. You got to download part of the collection, which I wish they would stop doing that. It pisses me. It really pisses me off a lot. I mean, it's all games that are being remastered. It's not even that hard to put them. You can put them on a cartridge now. It'll be easy for them to port, no question at all. I'm not gonna say I know the ins and outs of porting, but come on, like seriously, Iron Galaxy and Panic Button, they've done much more with much less. So you can easily move these remasters over, and it just. Like, Nintendo needs to make them stop doing this crap. Like, the games are digital. I mean, do what Rhyme does. Like, do what Bethesda did. When it comes to Skyrim or Doom or Wolfenstein, you can do this. This is ridiculous. And Nintendo needs to make Capcom step in line with this crap. Like, stop gouging Nintendo Switch fans. Like, seriously, it needs to stop. Like, I love the Capcom properties. I'm not gonna say I love Capcom. I love the properties, and I love the old school stuff that they used to do. I'm waiting for the beat 'em ups to go on sale, but you just need to stop with this nonsense, man. Stop with the whole. I remember the whole the localization issue with Monster Hunter Generations, and of course Nintendo Switch owners not even getting Monster Hunter, like a Monster Hunter's World equivalent, knowing damn well that game would do gangbusters on the Switch versus the PS4 and the Xbox, you dummy. Like, granted, yeah, they did really well on those consoles, but imagine how well they would do Monster Hunter World, or at least an equivalent version of that on the go. It would eclipse the other two consoles in terms of sales. And you don't need me, some random nobody, to say that. I mean, you can just look at the sales numbers for games selling on the Switch versus how they sell on consoles. It's painfully hard to beat a AAA experience on the go, and you need to understand that, and you need to stop treating Nintendo Switch owners and Nintendo owners in general as second-class citizens. I think Monster Hunter Generations is fine, but it's just an up-res version of Monster Hunter 4, which in itself is a good game for the DS. It's a good game, but you need to stop doing that. Like, just take out the feelings, the emotions that I'm displaying when I talk about this. Take that out. Shoot that away. That's fine. But when it comes to apples, when it comes to pure profit generated, you need to stop treating Nintendo Switch and Nintendo in general like an afterthought. There's other developers that needs to stop doing this too, because I mean, you have a business to run, geniuses. Run your businesses better. You see this runaway rocket slaying and destroying left and right, the fastest selling console of all time, but you're like, I'm good, I'm gonna do something else, and it's ridiculous. It's stupid. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. Indie developers have realized this. They've realized this long ago. Holy crap, Nintendo Switch, I gotta get on it. And they have been rewarded roundly. Like, I'm not going to get another console to give you my money. I'm not going to port beg you to give you my money. Money that I don't have, but regardless, other people shouldn't do it too. People shouldn't have to port beg you or anything for that. You should see, hey, there's an opportunity on this system. There's a fan base on here. These people will buy our games. These people will support us. Maybe we should give them what they want. I don't know. That's such a novel concept. Stop with the nonsense. Stop with overcharging Nintendo fans. Like, we gotta stop, and people gotta stop putting up with it too. Don't stand for it and buy it anyways. Yes, I would love Resident Evil 4. I want that game really bad. I want it bad, but it's gotta stop. Like, geez, like, you even started, like, in the beginning it was kind of fine, you can get away with it. Like, Capcom got me by reselling Street Fighter 2 to me again, like a lot of other people, again, for $40. Street Fighter 2 Super Nintendo game, just looks more hand-drawn, for $40, and it had a crappy Hadouken mode or whatever that was. Crappy shoot horned in like, the game is worth $20 at most. It's not a bad game because it's Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 is a good game, but just $40, really? and then you turn around and release the anniversary collection sometime afterwards that gives you so many Street Fighter games for around the same price. It's so scumbaggy, Capcom. It's so, you're scumbagging. You're scumbagging. I can't believe you don't know this. And you, I'm getting kind of worked up here. I'm more worked up about this than the Sonic story. I was like, Sonic, can't believe they're doing this to you. And then I calmed down on that. And then Capcom is like, boy, we about to piss you off. But anyway, anyways, that is it for the stories. If you enjoy my ranting and raving and talking about nothing, feel free to, drop a like, drop a dislike. Let me know what I need to improve on. Tell me in the comments below anything you want to talk about in the stories. And as always, I definitely like to take the discussion further. Blah, blah, blah. Patreon. Feel free to donate if you want to. If not, it's fine. Don't hurt yourself to do so. Shirt store, threadiverseapparel.com. Treat yourself to something nice. You deserve it. And with that said, I am done. Goodbye. Got a cramp again. That hurts.